Hi everybody and welcome to the final video of the year 2024. Originally this was supposed to be a creating FAKEMON from a walk video like True7 did years ago, where I just create random FAKEMON by what I found outside. But the more stuff I found, an idea formed in my head that eventually turned into a legendary trio. At first I'll show you the objects and then what concept I came up with. So I found an Apple Pencil which I brought to a lost and found property. 3 minutes later I found a bag of teeth. I'm not joking, I wish I was, but it was probably like cat teeth or something like that. On my way I always find this lovely Cheshire Cat pumpkin from Halloween. Since it was Christmas time I also found a chocolate Santa Claus, a little bit of money, a Lord of the Rings button, a keychain, broken glass, a Red Bull can, candle wax, or like candles with wax in it, which I took with me, and lastly another keychain thingy that is supposed to be a guardian angel. I got the idea to create a cat Halloween pumpkin FAKEMON and a Christmas red Santa bull FAKEMON. And then I thought, what if I make it a trio? So I thought of a fitting animal to oppose an ox and I landed on a donkey. And while the Santa ox represents the positive Christmas spirit and Santa, the donkey will be Knecht Ruprecht, who will punish the ones who misbehaved during the year. Let's start with the Halloween cat and slowly form the concept of this legendary trio. So, like I already said, the other two FAKEMON will represent the act of giving something, like Santa Claus and Knecht Ruprecht do. This FAKEMON is based on the concept of taking something, like it's the tradition of trick-or-treating. Children go around and will ask for candy, and so does this FAKEMON basically. Its head is based on a Halloween pumpkin like the one I saw and has candle elements since I found one on my way. Fun fact, I found 3 but only kept 1, so the number in the end of like candles or flames is fitting. The pose and perspective gave me a lot of struggle, but in the end I ended up with something that sort of works. It's stretching out its hand like it's trying to say, hey, please give me some candy. Its body is shaped like one of those trick-or-treat sacks or like a potato sack, something like that. Originally I wanted to give it a bag with teeth on top because of the cat teeth, so no one would try to steal from it, but that didn't work. Like I could have made it a different Pokemon, similar to Slowbro, but I thought that wouldn't really make sense for a legendary Pokemon. So I incorporated the teeth into the like giant grin of the pumpkin. It looks a little bit like a scarecrow with hay sticking out of its belly and neck, which like was my original idea, but it's kind of fitting for a Halloween vibe. I gave it this giant grin, which is supposed to look friendly but can also be seen as like kinda scary, like it's honestly up to you to decide. And I gave it feet that looked like boots because of the fairy tale Der gestiefelte Kater, aka Puss in Boots, which is also about the concept of receiving gifts. Oh, and well, the protagonist is like the sidekick is the gestiefelte Kater, a walking, talking cat. You probably know it from the Shrek movies. Also, the pose is inspired by the movie poster Trick or Treat because I just couldn't get the pose right or even the body type. Chronologically, it's the one I drew last because, well, I couldn't figure anything out until I saw this movie poster. I will reveal the full story, concept, mechanic and name of this trio at the end of this video, so please stay tuned for that. Until then, here is Koleneko, a grass and fire type. Grass because pumpkin and fire because of the candle eyes. The name is a fusion of collecting and neko, the Japanese term for cat. Since a lot of legendary Pokemon keep their Japanese names, I also try to do something in Japanese. Halloween FAKEMON done, first Christmas FAKEMON next. Because of the Red Bull, I found I wanted to make, well, a Red Bull FAKEMON. This FAKEMON incorporates those figures that show up around Christmas or in winter that give people presents if they are quote-unquote good people, like Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, the Pelzermädel or the Christkind. In my traditional sketches I tried to put a sack of gifts on the back of this FAKEMON and tie it to the body with chains, but it felt a bit off. Especially since I still wanted the sack as a mimic with teeth to protect the presents element, which later fell through. But I did like the pose and concept of like tying a container of presents to its back. At one point I thought I could incorporate the pose of Atlas holding the globe on its back, but that was a little out of my league and actually not the vibe I was going for. I then got the idea to switch the sack of gifts for a snow globe, probably because I started to play PlayerUnknown's Battleground Mobile a few days, weeks ago, and then right now there are Christmas maps, and there is this like giant snow globe mansion. I think that's why my head jumped to snow globe. But it is also incorporating the glass shards I found, so I guess it was destiny. I drew a snow globe on its back that has Christmas presents in it, and there's snow falling, there are also a few cookies and a little snowman. In there you can find stuff like Apple Pencils, keychains and whatever stuff is gifted for Christmas. The globe is tied to its back with a ribbon like a gift. The parts of its body that are covered in white fur are supposed to look like a Santa suit and beard. Also, side note, at one point I tried to shape the horns like a halo because I found this little guardian angel, and because here in Germany we don't really have the tradition of Santa Claus bringing gifts, but the Christkind, which looks like an angel, but that was odd looking, so normal horns it is. This FAKEMON is very patient and well-meaning. It can summon presents with its energy and give it to people. This FAKEMON was the easiest to come up with since I had a rather clear vision in my head and it basically looks like I imagined it. Originally I thought the Ox FAKEMON should be the quote-unquote evil one, cause with horns and red as a color scheme, which could be seen as aggressive, it could have went into a more devilish direction, but I am glad I didn't went there. The red and yellow color scheme looks relatively cozy and warm, so it's also fitting for the positive spirit one. Here it is, PewterCityJim, a fairy and fighting type. The name is a fusion of PewterCity, the Japanese term for present or gift, pure and ox. It is a friendly behemoth and very popular, especially amongst children. It is one of the oldest known FAKEMON in the Jermanzburg region, and there are even old depictions of it in books from centuries ago. And lastly, the counterpart to our PewterCityJim. This one is based on figures like Knecht Ruprecht or Krampus that punish misbehaved people by, for example, gifting them coal. As a counterpart to an ox, I chose a donkey in a similar pose and with a globe on its back too. But I turned it upside down, so the stand thingy is now on top of it. And I put a rope around it, which reminds me of these vessels from Naruto the Sound Quartet used to transport Sasuke. This globe is slightly broken, cause symbolic reasons. Oh, and also the angel thingy I found had 2 pearls, so by making each FAKEMON hold a globe, I accidentally referenced that as well. While the other globe is filled with glorious goods, this one is filled with coal and ashes. This is what people would get if they were too mean. For the colors I went with a colder color scheme of the same yellow and blue. The eyes are red to mirror PewterCityJim, who by the way had blue eyes to connect it to this FAKEMON. I can't really decide which one I like better of the two. I think both have a certain charm. But let me know which of these 3 FAKEMON you like the best. Here it is, Robacol, a fairy and poison type. The name comes from the Japanese term for donkey, roba, and coal, very literal name. Like PewterCityJim, it is pretty large. I mean, it has to carry a lot of stuff, so that just makes sense. This is the exchange trio, and this is their story. Throughout the year, Koleneko roams the Jermanzburg region, visits all of its inhabitants and asks for a little donation. It doesn't really matter what, as long as it comes from the heart and you treat the FAKEMON in a friendly way. If the people have nothing to give, that's fine, as long as they don't treat the FAKEMON harshly. The generous adults will most of the time gift stuff like money, tools, food, books, kitchen items or other useful stuff they think the FAKEMON or other people could use, while children will often give stuff they think the FAKEMON will like toys, sweets, or stuff like stones, sticks shaped like swords, the list goes on. You know, stuff children like to play with. And most of the time when people can't gift anything, they offer the FAKEMON to rest at their place. However, there are also not so generous people who will give this FAKEMON garbage, broken stuff, or nothing, simply because they think they are too good for it. Koleneko, after visiting everybody, will go back to PewterCityJim and Robacol. There they split the gifts. All the gifts from pure-hearted people will go to PewterCityJim, as well as a list of the kind people. And the ones by not so pure-hearted people will go to Robocall with a list as well. Then at the end of the year, Robocall and PewterCityJim will go on their way and visit the people on their respective lists. All the people on PewterCityJim's list will get something wonderful back. The presents they get back is individually and something they wished for. You want a cool sword? Here you have it. New books about dinosaurs? There you go. Are you running low on money? Don't worry, a lot of people gave PewterCityJim money, so that's for you. Robocall will visit all the people who were mean to Koleneko and reacted harshly to it. Every individual gets a large piece of coal to see how it feels to be treated the same way as they treated Koleneko. But they will also get a small piece of candy that symbolizes a second chance for them. Yes, they were mean, but that doesn't mean they have to be like that forever. Maybe they will give Koleneko something from the heart next year. After everybody was visited yet again, the humans forget they ever met these three. Only a certain feeling stays behind. Either be nice and get treated nicely, or I was mean and I was treated the same, even though being treated nice feels way better. Maybe I should change my behavior. And then the cycle starts once again. How would this work in a game? Well, they are basically like Entei, Raikou and Suicune in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. They are roaming around the region. At first you can only randomly encounter Koleneko in the grass. Before getting your one move, you get the option to throw either a treat or a mud ball, like in the Safari Zone. It flees after you attack it or throw a PokeBall. Once you manage to catch it, PewterCityJim and Robocall will spawn on the map. If you gave Koleneko more mud, Robocall will be more likely to run into you. If you gave it more presents, PewterCityJim will be more likely. And if you gave an equal amount of presents and mud, the chance will be the same. I am pleasantly surprised how well everything fell into place. I really didn't expect this random video idea I had to turn into this whole legendary subtree of the Jermanzburg region, but I'm really happy with it. I hope you had an amazing year. Thank you all for your support. Thanks to everybody who commented, liked the video, subscribed, and just enjoyed the videos I uploaded. I wish you all the best for 2025 and see you in the comments.